Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to News Dose. And I mean, if you're an Xbox Game Pass subscriber, it's a pretty good day right now. They just announced Wave 2 for the month of May, and it looks pretty incredible, I must say. We'll jump right into that here in just a moment. And then also PlayStation, they're going through quite a shakeup right now. This is more on the business side of things, but it is still very important, and I'll kind of give you all of my thoughts as to whether I think this is good or bad. Let's just gonna get right into things, though, and I know it's been a rough couple weeks for Xbox. They've faced a lot of criticism for some of their decisions, in my opinion, rightfully so. But when it comes to Game Pass, I mean, this is a service that just kind of keeps ticking. They once again have proven why Xbox Game Pass is still viewed as the best overall game subscription. They have a lot to offer on a monthly basis, and I mean, check this out. They just revealed 11 games that will hit the service over the next few weeks, which includes NHL 24, Chants of Sennaar, Haunty, Humanity, Moving Out 2, Rolling Hills, Galacticare, Immortals of Avium, Lords of Fallen, Hellblade 2, and then finally, Firework. Now, this actually includes 4 different day one releases, including Haunty, Galacticare, Rolling Hills, and obviously the highlight for the month of May, and really just one of the biggest attractions for the entirety of 2024 being Hellblade 2. I mean, day one releases really are the bread and butter for Game Pass. This is what makes this service just so special, and especially when it gets those big first-party titles. That was Xbox's goal when they first went out on that acquisition spree. They wanted to produce hit-exclusive titles that will attract customers to their platforms, and I mean, it's been a long time coming, but after Xbox acquired Ninja Theory back in 2018, Hellblade 2 will finally be out on May 21st. Now, personally, I thought the first game was just flat out amazing. I can't really speak for everybody else, but for me, I would consider it an all-time great single-player, story-driven experience. And hopefully, Hellblade 2 will replicate that same high quality. If anything else, its production values is pretty unmatched. I mean, you can clearly see that it is one of the most impressive games ever made from a graphical standpoint. Now, that is in sacrifice to its performance, though. While this game looks spectacular, this is a 30 FPS game, which, I mean, I understand has been controversial, but because this is such a cinematic experience and because it is a slower-paced game, hopefully that will play in its favor. Either way, though, I mean, the wait is almost over, and it'll be interesting to see how it scores on Metacritic. Let me hear your predictions below on how you think it'll score. There have been some rumors that Xbox has a lot of confidence in Hellblade 2 internally, so hopefully its score will kind of reflect that. The only thing about that, though, is that Xbox hasn't exactly done a great job at advertising it, so I don't know. Xbox can kind of be a weird company, as I think a lot of us already know. Now, another game that stands out here, though, is Humanity. This game launched in PlayStation Plus last year, and I guess it's Xbox's turn now for their subscription service as well. However, if you've never heard of Humanity, this comes from the Tetris Effect creators, and it's often described as really just one of the best puzzle games that you can currently play. It's kind of got some Lemmings vibes to it, where you guide mindless mobs of humans through 90 increasingly challenging stages. I understand that games like this can be a little bit more on a niche side of things, but maybe give this one a try. That is really the other beautiful part about something like Game Pass. It encourages you to try games that you might not try otherwise, and in this case, Humanity is a very well-received game, both critically and from fans, so definitely don't sleep on this game. Now, speaking of puzzle games, don't sleep on Chants of Sennaar either. This is an award-winning puzzle game, and even though I haven't played this one myself, it appears to be a hidden gem worth a try. It does have an 85 Metacritic score, and even more important is that fans seem to adore this game. If you look on Steam, you'll notice that it has an overwhelmingly positive score with 98% recommending it. That's always a great indication because it tells you that it delivers a great experience to its target group. If you like puzzle games, there's pretty good chance that you'll like Chants of Sennaar. Now, if you're looking for more of a cooperative experience, though, Moving Out 2 is a fantastic inclusion. This is actually probably one of the better cooperative games that you can currently play. You can play with up to 3 friends, and you have to work together as a part of a moving company. Now, this company can't necessarily promise no damage will come along with its service, but it really is just a fun, goofy experience. If you ever played the Overcooked series, it's kind of similar to that, albeit still a different experience, if that makes any sense. However, if you're looking for more of a bigger game to play, well, the month of May offers a lot of variety, which includes a AAA first-person magic shooter that launched less than 1 year ago, being Immortals of Aveum. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people missed out on this game last year. It didn't sell fantastically well, and that did hurt the studio. I do partially blame EA for pushing it out during a very busy schedule, but now that it'll be available as a part of Game Pass, maybe more people will get a chance to play it and see if they like it themselves. Haunty is another one that I'm going to go ahead and keep on my radar. This is a day one release, and it looks quite unique for what it is. Apparently, it offers an expansive, mysterious world where you haunt both the environment and its denizens to craft ingenious solutions to the many challenges that await you. So, I don't know, it seems like a very interesting game to say the least, and we'll see what happens when it launches on May 23rd. Either which way, though, Game Pass really is loaded with games for the next few weeks. That should move us into the Xbox Showcase, which, they might have some announcements for there as well. So, Xbox Game Pass seems to be firing on all cylinders. Moving on, though, let's go and talk about PlayStation, because they have quite a bit going on themselves. They just announced their new CEOs that's set to replace Jim Ryan. And yes, you did hear that right. Apparently, they're going in a completely different direction this time with not one CEO, but two different CEOs. Now, I actually really do like this move, which I'll explain that in just a moment. But Jim Ryan's replacements will be Hermen Hulst and then Hideki Nishino. Hermen Hulst will now act as the studio business CEO, which focuses more on the software side of things. They said that he'll be responsible for developing content across many devices, including PlayStation consoles and PCs, and bringing video game IP to new mediums such as film and television through PlayStation Productions, whereas Nishino will be the platform CEO, which leads in their hardware strategy. So he'll control things like the PlayStation 5, the PlayStation Portal, maybe an eventual handheld, we keep hearing a lot about that, and also the inevitable PlayStation 6. Now, for me, I actually really like this plan to have two CEOs, because this kind of frees up each individual to really focus on their own expertise. I mean, we just heard Xbox and Bethesda complain last week that they were being apparently spread too thin. And the idea of two different CEOs kind of avoids that situation a little bit. At the very least, in theory, I like this idea. But, with any kind of shakeup, it's really just kind of a wait-and-see approach for us fans. We won't truly know what their full vision is until we see it throughout a period of time. But to me, the one thing that is clear here is that, once again, PlayStation is expanding their reach beyond just their consoles. The job description for Hermen Hulst does make that clear, as it mentioned both PC and film. So I do expect them to double down on those particular strategies. We should start to see a lot more PlayStation shows and movies, whether that be God of War, Ghost of Tsushima. We've already heard about those, but we could start to see other IP as well. That's something to pay attention to. And obviously, because we've heard this time and time again, PC will be a centerpiece for PlayStation strategy going forward. Now, here's something a little surprising, though. Speaking of PlayStation's hardware division a moment ago, you'll notice that I mentioned Nishino will be in control of the PlayStation Portal, and I purposely mentioned that because they also revealed that the PlayStation Portal's demand has exceeded their expectations. That might surprise some people, but they clarified this by stating that it's not massive units that's being sold, but it's still pretty good nonetheless, which I still think is more than noteworthy. A lot of people have made fun of this device, and I've even seen a lot of people question its existence. But clearly, what this kind of proves is that there is a market for a remote play handheld. To this day, it still sells out. And okay, I'm sure that they're not producing a lot of units as they just mentioned, but it is still selling out nonetheless. It has exceeded their expectations. My only thing about the Portal, though, is that if they do plan to keep it around, they still need to improve this thing. I have one myself, and while I've mostly had a great experience, there are still a few things that needs to be addressed. One is the frame rate, which still does not match up with the PlayStation 5. I don't know if this was an oversight on their part. I don't know what the situation is here, but this does cause micro stutters, which gives you a slightly less smooth experience. A lot of people do notice this. Now, the other thing about the Portal is that I'd still like to see them expand its capability. If it's possible, I'd like to see cloud game streaming in the future. I think that would really push this thing over the top to make it a little bit more enticing. I mean, we'll see what happens with all of this, but with its success, the hope here is that PlayStation will give it plenty of long-term support. Cross my fingers. Now, for one last update, though, it appears that Rockstar is preparing a big-time release that fans have been waiting for really over a decade. It's honestly kind of crazy that it's taken this long, but it appears that Rockstar finally figured out that, yeah, they like money, because a PC Red Dead Redemption port has been spotted. Now, this has yet to be announced, but you can see here, posted up by Tez2, Red Dead Redemption for PC was found in Rockstar's launcher site file. It says, journey across the sprawling expanses of the American West and Mexico in Red Dead Redemption and its zombie horror companion, Undead Nightmare, now playable on PC. So yeah, there it is. And Tez2 also mentioned that they've updated marketing strings. So with that information, and announcements seemingly could really happen at any moment, but you heard it here first. That's why you subscribe, because I keep you on top of things. Anyways, though, that's going to be it for this episode. But do let me know what you all think about the news today. How do you feel about Xbox Game Pass over the next few weeks? And also, what do you think about PlayStation having 2 CEOs? Until next time, though, peace out.